What's up, Johnny? How you doing, man? Hey, what's up, Andrew? Andrew Sharpify. Welcome. Eric, how you doing? Okay, yes, I am drawing ghouls again, but there's things included other than ghouls. There's also snakes, see? And there's dastardly princes. And a beautiful framework for the drawing. And there's knights in armor. And yes, of course, my trademark ghouls. I don't know how how much I like this pose for Percival. This one makes more sense, I think. Yeah, there you go. You know, I don't think I like this pose because I don't think I like how hunched over Percival is. He's like, it's not really his vibe. You know, he's not Wolverine. He's not like an animal. He's very proud. Yeah, I might just redo his pose entirely, honestly. Oh my goodness, the chat's moving so fast. Happy Turkey Week. Who's going home? Who's traveling to see family this week? You're up in the Yukon.
Right here is go back. Way back into time.
What's up, Edgar? Apparently, I did forget the turkey. I'm always doing that. You have a friend named Percival? What? No, do you really? Let's see. Good. So Le Morte d'Arthur. So Le Morte d'Arthur is the main King Arthur source, right? I'm asking because I see it in the bookstore and I'm not aware of any other Arthurian story. Yeah. So Le Morte d'Arthur is kind of like a collection of the of various like versions of the King Arthur legend. I believe it's Sir Geoffrey Mormont, who, there's two main ones. There's Geoffrey Mormont and then there's another guy. But basically, yeah, they like collected all the legends into one cohesive story. It's kind of like a consolidation of the myth. It's a really good place to, if you wanted to just read a pretty good general version of the story. It's got a lot, I have a copy of it that good friend Daniel Warren, friend of the channel, very popular artist. For anyone who doesn't know, you should check out his YouTube channel. But almost everybody here knows me from Dan. So he actually got me a copy of it as a gift when I came to visit him. And I took it home and just devoured it. Like I was just so into it. Because one of the things he and I bonded about was that we were both really into King Arthur. So yeah, it's really, I have like this nice illustrated version of it. Oh boy, it's sexy. Yeah, no, that's a really good version of it to read. There's others you could, if you wanted to do a deep dive. There's some great documentaries too that I would recommend. And then there's like the pagan versions of the story, and then there's but Le Morte d'Arthur is like kind of like it's based largely around the time that Europe became more Christian, and it was well after Europe became more Christian. So the original pagan version of the story, over time they started reintroducing the pagan elements into the Christian elements, and they kind of fused it into this one like pretty cool legend with like aspects of like pagan fairy tales and mythology, and then like with these Christian characters kind of like in that world, and it works, I think, pretty well. I mean, there's a lot of legends, a lot of versions of it that, once the French get a handle on it, they kind of turn it into a different thing. Oh yeah, anyone watching, please give the video a like. I really appreciate it. It always helps the channel out. Here's the top 3 panels for this page. This is Mordred witnessing the battle below. I wanted to do a lot of panels like this where it's like framed in this nice gothic looking framework. Andrew Sharpify says, how long have you been drawing? I'm 39 now. So 39 years, I think. I mean, there was a point when I was in college that I got really into boxing, and I was a boxing coach for years, and then I had stopped drawing for like 3 or 4 years because I was convinced that I was going to be a boxing coach for a living. I was like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do. I'm good at it. I have a lot of friends in that field, and it just seemed like that's where my life was going. And then I just started drawing again, and then went back in that direction. But for the most part, so I'd say like 35 years of drawing. I have a lot of different styles I draw in. This is like more of a comic book style, pretty intensive line art, but generally I paint too. You know, you just try everything. When you've been doing it for 3 decades, you just try all the different stuff. You know. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm reading the chat about this guy Percival that this kid knows. I don't know. Hey, what's up? Q Dicted to Guiley. I don't know. I want to find a good way to say your screen name. I think I'm going to call it Guiley. Can I call you Guiley? Is that all right? Unless there's a better shorthand you want to go by. Yeah, you see, but I think this version, I see what you're saying. The hunched over position worked, but if you look at it in the context of this, you have Sir Kay on the right, Arthur in the middle, and him on the left. Now you've got a nice, they're all facing different directions, and then you've got the boys up here, and then you've got Bedivere on the horse, and then you've got Sir Gawain here in that cool samurai pose. I think that could work better. 39 years? Yeah, you with the big exclamation. Yeah, I mean, that's how long I've been alive, and I just kept drawing the whole time, with the exception of that time that I was thinking I was going to be doing something else with my life. And I've been a professional for 13 years. I'm 39. I started when I was 26. I started doing it for a living, and I just didn't look back. I just went for it. And those first 3 years, man, ooh boy, was I broke all the time. But things are stable now, so. Not even 10 minutes in, you already mentioned your boxing days, just like old times. It's only because I have the beginnings of dementia, Edgar, from all the boxing. Did I mention I boxed? Ian, okay. I might forget that you're Ian and call you Guiley. I hope that's okay. He's going to say Ian 3 because you typed it like that. I'm calling it right now. I didn't, because to me it looks like Ian with like a couple of testicles. That's how my old man brain reads it. You've been drawing a long time too? That's cool. What kind of stuff you like to draw? Okay. So now I gotta review this costume I gave this character. I want to make sure I'm on point with the model. So, a big part of how I designed each of the characters of the knights is that there's a bit of a animalistic aspect to each one. So Percival is based on a rooster. So he's got the big tuft of red feathers and like a big broad chest and a beak in his helmet kind of look. I'm gonna change this music. I don't know if I like this. I like something a little more there you go. It's a little more fun. Sorry, I'll check the chat in a minute, but I'm just trying to get this costume right. So I'm looking at the file on the computer for a bit. Oh, so guys, something I've been considering. So this, for those of you who are regularly watching, know I'm planning on doing a Kickstarter for this before I do the one for Black Marrow. Just kind of doing Kickstarter after Kickstarter this coming year, and I was thinking of maybe creating an option. Maybe so I could do it few ways. I could do typical American comic format, like I did with Black Marrow, which people seem to like. So like 6x9, right? Or I was thinking about doing it as European style comics, where those nice, like the bande dessinée, as they call it, where it's like they print them in 9x12, and I have a few of them, and I absolutely love it, because Europeans really don't the French and Italian comic scene, they really don't mess around with like the print quality and the artwork. And this is like a very art heavy book. It's like meant to really be an art showcase as well as a story. I'm not aiming for cute. I'm aiming for like awe. Like I want people to just be like, oh my god, maybe it's hard to tell over the stream, but so yeah, I'm considering doing that as it might be a little more expensive, but it could be really cool to see like beautiful 9x12 high quality large pages and like a big, and then I was thinking, if I'm going to do that, maybe I should do it as a hardcover. Thing is, it's not enough pages for a hardcover. This is a pretty short comic compared to my other stuff. So, and I could do it as like an option. Like you could do the 9x12 or the 6x9. I could do that. Or I could just do, just one or the other. Because I kind of like the idea of doing multiple tiers for people who have different, budgets. And anybody who wants to drop a little bit extra money for the big 9x12 version. Kind of like, I might call it like an illustrator's edition, because that's kind of what it is. Something to think about. I'm interested in what you guys think. Sorry, I need to find the costume for Bedivere. I really don't have a lot of full shots of Bedivere. Let me look at his character sheet. There you go. Right, he's got like a weird triangular thing going on here. Bedivere's costume is all just angles. He looks like a robot. It's like really... It's one of my favorite suits of armor in this whole thing. I based a lot of it on this one costume from Elden Ring that I really liked. But and as per the original legend, Bedivere's one-handed. So I'm putting like, I'm adding some cool stuff where he's got like a device that like a old school like mechanized hand, like not a robot hand. It's just like a piece of metal with a lock that like clicks into different pieces of equipment that he uses. And everything's designed so they can lock in to the ball that he has, like as in replacement of his hand, almost like a cannonball shape, like a small cast iron hand. That's just like like a globe that clicks almost like a ball and socket joint to different pieces of equipment that he can use. I'm back. I'm back to the chat. Let's see what's up. Yeah, there isn't another character that has the right personality to be hunched and fading. The left really works. Nick DeLuca says, Ryan, can you go into more details about why you chose the specific animals for each? Sure. Before I do, let me bring up the knights. I'll bring up a group shot. Hold on while I don't NDA myself. Okay, so these are my boys. You have Merlin, who is Merlin. But of the knights, you have Percival, the rooster. And of the group, he's kind of the... He's got a really big personality. He's got like... He's very like full of love. He's kind of like a big... I don't want to say gentle giant because that gets overused. He's like not gentle. He's a fighter. They all are. But like... He's very easy to get along with. He's just kind of full of love, you know, and he laughs a lot. And even when he takes off the helmet, he's got like a big, like, he's got sideburns that connect to his mustache. He's got like a big face, you know. He talks loud. He's got, he's very protective. He like has a soft spot for animals. The rooster is something that I associate with him because he has such a overtly like alpha, you know, presence, but in a way that's kind of tender and easygoing in his own way, but his confidence and how people around him, like his family, his wife, like associate him with the rooster. This kind of like he's, you know, come to his house. Percival's the rooster, you know. As far as the only, you know, he has like at this point in the story, because this is when they're older, he already has like 5 daughters and a wife. So it's the idea that like he's the only male in the house, you know. Bedivere. Is the owl, and of all of them, he has the least obvious design. Like he doesn't look as much like an owl as the other people look like their animals, and there's a reason for that narratively. Is that in this version, I'm kind of taking from different versions of it. So Bedivere, the one-handed, the idea is that he served under Arthur's father, Uther Pendragon, who was like kind of a shitty king and did a lot of bad stuff. And Bedivere didn't even want to serve a king at all. He was like, I'm done. He's like, I lost my hand serving your father. Like he was a bastard and it was for selfish, stupid wars. I'm not doing it again. But he's so inspired by Arthur. When Arthur takes the throne, he's such a good guy that Bedivere is like, all right, fine. He's like, and he's the oldest of the knights. In this version, I made him the oldest. He's like second generation, or first generation, I should say, relative to the others. So the reason that his costume has the least amount of color, like it's just like gray with a little bit of green in it, you know, and his armor is the most kind of chipped and less, it's like he has very few frills. Even the angles of it, it's not smooth and pretty. You can't tell so much from this picture, but the idea being that he cares the least for pageantry because he's seen so many wars and he's kind of cynical about it. But the only thing about this that he's not cynical about is serving Arthur and like Camelot because that's what he believes in. But he doesn't give a shit about knightly, you know, pageantry. So his costume hints at elements of the owl, including I was going to add fur to and I might still do it, adding fur to the top of the cape, so it looks like an owl kind of like sitting in it. But generally, he's just like, you know, the least interested in that. And this is Sir Dynadine, the trickster, who is a fox. And I don't really need to explain that so much. Like, obviously, the trickster as a fox, and he's small. You know, he's the smallest of the knights. And he's known for being funny and silly and really likes to play tricks on people. And a lot of his adventures, he, like, uses his wits and his guile. And he's in this version. I was thinking he would actually be from Avalon. He's like from the land of Fae, so he's not quite human, which is one of the reasons he's like a small almost like not like a like a fairy. You know, he's got like I was thinking he would have little pointed ears underneath the helmet. Yeah, so he's the fox. You know, for obvious reasons that I just described. Gawain, right here. His armor is based on the minnow, which is an English fish you find in rivers in England. And I had this idea that of all the knights have different jobs in Camelot, you know, in that region. And Gawain, he's known for patrolling. He rides along the waterways and rivers to patrol for invaders because you have Saxons and Vikings coming south to attack England. So the rivers were always, you know, so Gawain is like his if you look at his helmet, it has the look of like fish, you know, fish likes vaguely. And so he's the minnow. And it's green. The original version is silver, but then at this point in the story, because he's older, it's green because this is after he's had the story of Gawain and the Green Knight, where he actually like had this whole journey. If you ever read Gawain and the Green Knight, you'll see. But yeah, he's like been through this whole journey with the Green Knights and took on the green armor as a sign of like respect to Avalon, who he has a shared allegiance with between Avalon and Camelot, because after the journey of the Green Knight, he kind of realizes that that's like what he's meant to do. And then you have Sir Kay, who very proud and a little bit vain, but a good guy. His animal is the elk. I forget. No, it's the buck. It's the English buck, the deer. And I was going to put antlers on his helmet, but I thought it was just like too impractical to put huge antlers on this guy's helmet, even for my outrageous looking version of the story. But if you look at his sword, it's meant to resemble antlers of a buck. And he has the symbology all over a lot of his stuff. And then you have one of my favorite designs in the whole thing, Sir Bors, who probably the biggest departure from the original story, because in a lot of the stories, a lot of the knights are kind of like the same personality. They're all very honorable and good and likable and good Christian men. I wanted to make them a little different from each other. Like, I want them all to be good. It's like, I'm basing it kind of like on the Fellowship of the Ring. So some of them are, you know, they're like flawed, but they're all like really heroic and good. I really wanted that, but I needed to make them really different. And so in my version, some people won't like this, but Sir Bors is like largely silent. He barely speaks. He never takes off the helmet. And he's like, you know, he's kind of like a weird spindly giant. He's like very tall and very lanky, and he's always wearing this big black fur cape you have here. The idea being that so his is the crow is his symbol, and he's from an order of knights called the Crow Feather Knights, and they all wear these big black capes made out of hundreds of crow feathers. And he's the one who doesn't really speak. He does speak sometimes, but generally it's like, you know, when he chooses to speak, and often when he does, he'll speak in French. And he doesn't really take off the helmet, and that's like a part of his whole mystique. And him, Sir Bors, and Sir Dynadine have this cute relationship, kind of like Groot and a Rocket Raccoon, you know, where like he sits on his shoulder all the time. I mean, how could I not do that? So that's, and then you have Arthur. Hold on, I'll bring that up. And I'm going to check the chat in a second. I just wanted to answer your question as fully as possible. So you have Arthur, who is the dragon. That's his, you know, the symbol of his house. You know, the pen dragon. It's literally in the name, and you can't tell because of this shot here, but the sword's blocking it. But he has like dragon wings on the helmet. And here, if you look at it here, those are dragon wings. So, you know, he's the king. The dragon is sort of like the top dad of all the animals in terms of power. So how did that work for you guys? Is that a good explanation? I hope Nicholas DeLuca was paying attention because I answered it all for him. Do the weekend music. I don't know what that means. Thanks, Johnny. I think it's become a regular tradition to have Johnny just kind of say half sincere, half trolling stuff in the chat. God bless you. Bring it on. Oh, so you like the idea of the European style of like the bigger comic, Andrew? Yeah. So Ian says it's so weird seeing people be actually good at digital art because I'm horrible at it. I prefer traditional. I hear you, man. I actually, for years, I only went digital like maybe 5 years ago. For most of my career, I was traditional, and then I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be a good way to increase my productivity, yada yada. I ended up loving it. Like once I learned how to use the iPad and Procreate, and I have a big tablet too, it's nice. I still love doing traditional, and I still do it when I can. But when you're on deadlines and you got to just get it done, it's nice to be able to bring an iPad with you. Like right now, I'm going to see my family. I'm going to see my family tomorrow for Thanksgiving, and it's so nice that I can just like not worry about. I can like, oh, what's that? Everybody's asleep and I'm awake. Okay, I can just get some work done while I'm chilling at my mom's place or my dad's or something, And that's the glory of it. It's great. It's honestly, it's expensive at first. You pay for all this new equipment, but then if you're doing this for a living and it raises your productivity, it'll pay for itself, because it's like the clients are happy when the work comes in. Also, as a freelancer, I'm doing this for a living, and you get so many clients that'll want revisions. And when I was doing this traditional for client, it was such a pain, because it would be like, oh, you have like 15 problems with this, so that means I have to redraw this entire page that I just penciled and inked, and it's like, I don't want to do that. That's just like, that's so terrible. But when you're digital, you can just make the adjustments. You redraw parts of it. You do digital scaling. You just do, you do what you got to do to get it done, and that's very nice. And but yeah, I'm doing some pages traditionally. I also have a guy who sells my original art for me, a dealer. Who, when I do traditional pieces, he sells them for me. And so, yeah, I still do traditional. It's nice. I miss it. I go through phases where I'm like, I just want to do traditional. I don't even want to touch a screen for a while, because like once you've done it, you're like, oh, I remember how good paper feels. But then sometimes when I'm doing stuff like this, it's like, it's so nice to be able to easily color the whole thing and have, make adjustments as I go and not have to worry and be precious about it, because I know I can change things if I don't like the way it looks. And also I was also pretty bad at digital when I first started. You just kind of get used to it, and you kind of adjust the preferences and you get everything set up so that traditional and digital feel the same, And you can get there. It just takes a little bit of time to get past the awkward phase. The awkward phase is it's a barrier of entry that I had to get through. One of the ways I did though is I just started watching tons of tutorials of like how to change the iPad settings and make sure it was more to my liking. Like my iPad is set for left-handed people. Or actually, no, I think it might be the opposite. Even though I'm left-handed, I think I set it for right-handed because it was just... Oh no, maybe it was left-handed. I don't remember which one I'm set for. I've redone it a couple of times. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to tighten up this sketch for Gawain and I'm going to ink it. Because that's really what people are here for. They're here for the inks. They want to see it inked. I know. I'm also here for that. It's 90% sincere. Thank you very much. All right, I accept it. Oh, good. Nick DeLuca, you didn't miss my explanation, which went on for like 20 minutes. I'm glad. I mean, one's like oversized, the other tiny. Do it make sense for you for that type of relation? Yeah. Well, 6x9, if you've seen American comics, 6x9 is not that small. It's like pretty good. It's bigger than a manga. But I really I've gotten a couple of European comics and I have some behind me. I love how big they are, you know, because the European comics are very confident in their artwork. And I suspect it's because they pay their artists really well. Like I don't know if anyone here has read Black Sad. One word, Black Sad. Incredible. The whole comic is watercolor painted. It's absolutely unrivaled, amazing watercolor art. The whole comic. And he just takes them like a year, 2 years to finish a book, and then nobody cares. They're just excited when it comes out. It's very hard to get that to happen in this country, honestly. I love I love this country, but the comic art scene in Europe is just a whole other thing, you know. I burn myself out so quickly with art because I have art block 50% of the time. Then I draw for like 3 days and then I don't do it, and it's a cycle. Yeah. What do you think, if you had to guess, what do you think? Sorry, I don't know why I keep yawning. What do you think causes your art block? Like, what do you, is it boredom? Is it frustration? Art block, it sounds terrible. I pray to God I never get that, because I think it would really be a problem for me, but so many aspects of medieval armor that just become so cool once you understand why they designed armor this way back then. So many things about it become so much cooler than like typical like fake armor that you see in movies and stuff, where it just looks like because so much armor design in movies and stuff and video game, like science fiction stuff, it's just like it'll just be like a cool bodysuit, you know, where the armor takes the shape of a physique, because I think that's like initially very appealing because it looks like a, some jacked dude or whatever. Then you look at traditional medieval armor and there's like bellies and weird like shapes that it takes. But once you understand why, it starts to become awesome. And now I love it. I love it so much. It's like, so like when you see all the slopes in armor, how they have these curved shapes around the stomach and the shoulders. The reason for that is because it's harder for a weapon to hitch on it, to like catch it, it's smooth. So things glance off of it better when you have these big smooth shapes. And you have this dome shape around the stomach because it creates distance between any attacker and the actual guts of the person inside. And then it's just, I don't know, you start to realize, and then you start hearing, I start reading a lot of history about this stuff, was like, in preparation for this comic. I just couldn't get enough of it. It was so awesome. It's like, there's like medieval manuals where, because that's how they would transmit martial art information. They would like write a manual and they would illustrate it to show different fight moves, and then you would have to interpret it and like see if you could learn from the book and then practice it with other people, which is just like nuts. But imagine trying to learn martial arts that way. Like I imagine if I had to learn boxing that way, it would be like hilarious. It'd be a joke. But and in the manuals, there's a part where they're like addressing the common man, because there's a lot of common soldiers who would go to fight. They weren't all knights in armor. Most of them were just guys who worked in farms, and they would go with like pointy sticks. What do you got? Oh, you got a mallet for farming and a pointy stick. You're going to war. Let's go fight the French or whoever. And when they would go, so the manual is addressing them at some point, and it says like, if you see a knight in armor, do not try to fight him. Like, don't let one of your knights on your side face him, because he will kill you. He will kill all of you. It's such a crazy bit of advice. They're like, yeah, just don't even attempt it, because like these guys, if they spent this much money on a piece of armor for a person, it meant it was intimidating to see it, because it meant that person was already a tremendous financial investment for that empire, for that kingdom. And that meant that they were training this person for the time that they were like a child. They were learning how to fight. So by the time they're like 16 years old, they're already capable of fighting multiple people at once and absolutely just wrecking anyone, And this armor was like really light, so these guys were much faster than people think. They could run, they could jump, and it's like, and then you think of how effective the armor was at keeping away damage, and it's like these guys were killing machines. They were like, is crazy, and their fitness level, like Robert the Bruce of Scotland, he used to apparently, this is hardcore shit. He would put on a full, I believe it was Robert the Bruce. He would put on a full suit of armor and then run a mile around his castle. He would just run circles around the castle to do his cardio. And then at the end of it, he would put a ladder up against the castle, lean it against, and he would climb on the underside of the ladder with just his upper body in a full suit of armor, like doing pull-ups to train his upper body. He was an absolute beast. And he was known for, in times of war, he would actually do the Game of Thrones thing that Jon Snow does, which is like based partially on Robert the Bruce, is that he would actually challenge the leader of the other army to single combat instead of like all these guys fighting, why don't you and I just fight? And there's at least two occasions historically where he actually challenged the enemy commander to single combat in front of all the troops, defeated them in a duel, and the war was canceled because Robert the Bruce just wrecked them. It's crazy. It's great. Like, what an absolute... I don't even know. It's like a different type of person, Yeah, he would run laps around the entire castle in a full suit of armor, like in the grass, just like, and then doing pull-ups. That's the part that's more shocking to me, is that he would do like pull-ups on the underside of a ladder in a full suit of armor. Like what? How do you even do that? I don't know. You can't say that to a 40-year-old. I'm not 40 yet. I'm going to be 40 in May, all right? I got plenty of time to enjoy the last bits of my 30s. Having said that, I don't know what that means, Ian. I've only recently become a member of the internet. For much of my life, I was not a member of the internet. Hey, what's up, Hawk? How you doing? I think I remember you, Hawk. Haven't you been here before? I think I remember your profile pic. You go by Zeke now? Just so you know, Ian, Zeke/Edgar is 14 years old, so he's going to be disrespectful all day long. He disappears for months, and when he comes back, all he gives me is sass. Little sass monster. Hawk says, I'm new, actually. Oh, okay. Sorry, Hawk. I thought I'd seen your picture before. I do like the squirrel profile pic. It's great. He says, I have never known any professional comic artist on YouTube. Oh, your art is phenomenal. Thank you so much. There's a bunch. You should definitely, I mean, not to send you away from my channel, but there's a bunch of great artists on here who are way more popular than me. And you should definitely check out their channels as well, because if you like art, there's some amazing artists working on here. But none of them will love you like I do. That's not true. Some of them will. Some of them can love you very well. But none of them need all of you guys like I do. Debating how much I should develop this sketch before I go to inks. I really want to ink, but I just want to make sure I don't. In the past, I would mess it up sometimes, and I would start inking way too early before I really had the sketch down, because I just like the inking process so much. Like, I mean, when I look at this, the first 3 panels, I'm like, ooh, I want to do that again. I want to do that again. Look at that snake. Come on, it's fun. But this looks pretty good. Maybe I can work with this. Let me. All right. Ah, Guiley is also. Are you go to the same school? Oh my. I'm outnumbered here, guys. I'm outnumbered in this chat. I got teenagers messing with me. They know I'm blind and deaf because of my advanced years. You turned 14 this month. Okay. Don't eat my drawings. I need them. I need them for my income. If you eat them, no one will buy them, because they're not going to eat them after you digest them. You can eat them after people have bought it. In the Big 25, eating people's art is the most common compliment for drawings and the best one. Do you have any favorite works of or artists? Yeah. Oh my goodness. How much time you got, Hawk? I'll tell you, but then I want to hear yours. I want to hear yours afterwards. I bounce around because it's like there's been so many artists that I've loved that have influenced me, and you probably can't even see any of them in my work. Really love Bernie Wrightson, Frank Frazetta, Mike Mignola. You know, the big ones. I love Jack Kirby. I love the classical artists. I love John Singer Sargent. Frazetta's the big one for me. Frazetta's like, for me, like just top tier. I resonate with him very much. Who else do I like? I like Greg Capullo a lot. The guy who worked on Vagabond, I forgot his name. Japanese name. It's like Tashimato. An incredible, beautiful comic book he did. I like Tetsuya Nomura. Sometimes. not all of his stuff, but I like a lot of his stuff. I think Dave Repose is pretty great. I like David Finch. I like Steven Zapata, who's been on my channel before. He's a great artist. Big fan of Matthew Rhodes, who's got a great YouTube channel where he draws. He's working on a comic, graphic novel kind of situation as well. Some crazy project he's on. Check out Dead Gods. That's his. It's crazy. It's awesome. I really like the art of Marko Drjevic too. I think Six More Vodka, which is his company, has produced some really gorgeous work. Amazing stuff. Oh my God, Ruan Jia, the Chinese artist. I don't know how anybody's that good. Maybe my favorite artist of all time is Kim Jung-gi, who tragically died like 5 years ago. I think he is just he was incredible. I think all of the Super Ani artists are great. I think Karl Kopinski is among my favorites. I think Karl Kopinski is brilliant. I love Riccardo Federici. I love Brahm. Brahm is amazing. Of course, Mobius. Mobius is incredible. You can probably see a little bit of Mobius in my style, maybe like a poor man's Mobius, a Mobius strip, if you will. Yeah, after I get paid, Ian, because they pay me for the art, and then you can eat it if you want. Lee Bermejo is great. Hey, what's up, Tasteful Thickness? Yeah, Lee Bermejo is great. You know, I've met him before. I had back in the day some friends at DC Comics when I was trying to get work there. I auditioned for something that they were doing, and I was just walking around, getting a feel for the offices, and Lee Bermejo came in, and he and I started talking, and I was like, "Oh man, I really like your stuff, man. I'm like happy to meet you." He was such a charming, kind-hearted, nice very handsome man. Like he was just a beautiful person. I really liked him right away. He just had a gentle personality and a really just a stud, you know, a total Chad of a man, just very sweet. I really liked. I only met him for a few minutes, but he made such a good impression on me. Kim Jong-gi was really good. Hey, Sharky, do you like me? Yes, no, baby. Sharky, don't you worry. You're on my list of most kissable Irishmen. And that's quite a list. Yeah, Jack Kirby's great. For me, it's like Jack Kirby kind of embodies what people think of as the American comic book style, where it's like there's a kind of chunkiness to Kirby, you know, because you get what you see a lot of in like European comics is more like line arty, like more like this, like more that style is much more delicate. It's like it's got more hatching, and you know, and American comics have that too. But what I'm saying is, I think you associate European comics with the like post Mobius culture, and then Kirby is just like he kind of became the template for American comics for decades, because it was just like these big, chunky, robust shapes and like big swaths of black ink cover. It's just like super chunky and muscular, and it just has this this energy to it. Like I don't think anybody did action like Kirby, you know. Ah, the artist of Vagabond. His name just came to me. It's Takahiko Inoue, Japanese artist. Another one of my favorites. But he's great. There's videos of him working, and you can just see him. You know, unlike because most Japanese artists work with a pen, like a dip pen. But Takahiko Inoue, he works with a brush usually. At least on Vagabond, he did. He had a brush. And it creates this beautiful, soft look. Oh, yeah, my art reminds you of Mobius? That's very nice of you to say. My favorite DC comic, ever, or like right now? Because ever, that's a hard one. A big fan of All-Star Superman. I think it's a great book, and I love Dark Knight Returns. My favorite current DC comic, well, it just ended. Batman and Robin Year One is just such a charming book. I really liked it. And it just finished. I thought it was just delightful. It was exactly what I needed. It was much lighter and but also had real stakes and drama. It was just great character work. I think Chris Samney, the artist, is just like, what a great style that he works in. It's so nice, and it's like only he can draw that way, you know. It feels like it's just his style. Hell yeah, Percival's looking pretty cool. Later, Ian. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I've never read Vagabond. I've just appreciated the artwork, honestly. I also, I got this comic, Witch Hat Altier, which is very popular right now, and I haven't read a single word of it. I just think the artwork is so it's like such beautiful pen and ink work. I bought it just for the beauty of it. All-Star Superman is one that I love for the art and if I love a comic, I love it for the art and the story. So like All-Star Superman is just beautifully written, and I love Frank Quitely's artwork. It's just such a unique style, and it fits really perfectly for the content of the book. And the new Superman movie, which I personally really liked, I thought it really felt like it was Frank Quitely's Superman, the look of it. And at first I didn't like the suit when I first saw it, but then once you see it in the movie, in the context that it was intended to be seen, I started to love it. It was like, oh, I see what they're doing, what they're going for creatively with this, and now I think it's brilliant. If I love a comic, it's like I gotta love all of it. I gotta love the artwork, because it's like there's comics where the writing's been good, but if I don't like it, I just can't do it. And I'll buy a comic for the art, even if I don't like the writing, but then I'll just look at the art. Like Sean Gordon Murphy is an artist I like. I do not, I say this, I've met him. I don't know him personally, but I've met him, so I don't want to be rude. I don't really like the stories that he writes. I just feel like he has a tendency to do this stuff that's like kind of high concept, but that doesn't really work for me personally. I just don't enjoy the ideas that he puts into the scripts that he writes. But when he's drawing it, I'll just it's like, all right, well, I'll pick it up. At least I'll pick up the first issue or something, or just every now and then, just to appreciate the beauty of his work. But I don't love the book because I just don't like what he did. Like his Batman White Knight was like such a I don't know. I don't want to shit talk, but I didn't like what he did. And I think probably there's a bunch of, I don't know. He got a lot of praise for it, and I remember being like, what is everybody talking about? It's not a great, I don't know. It was just like some of the writing was so silly to me. And it's not about realism, it's about verisimilitude. Like if you can't make me, you have to make me believe it could happen in the world that you're creating. And he's just, I don't know. There were some odd ideas that I don't think he succeeded in justifying the odd ideas as far as how the plot. But I got to be careful because we know some of the same people. I don't want him to think I'm shit talking him. Just as one professional to another, Sean, if you ever see this, I think you're a great artist. And that's it. And that's all I want to say. I think you're great. I think your drawing is beautiful. All right. All right. Tokyo Ghost was cool, but I don't think he wrote Tokyo Ghost. That was oh my god, I forgot his name. It was the same guy who wrote X-Force. I forget his name. Tasteful Thickness says Masamune Shirao drew Ghost in the Shell comics. He draws females in a cool way, but most of it is too explicit. He was a horny artist. How can somebody be as good at drawing as you are, especially if they're a beginner? Well, thank you for that. I don't. It's kind of an oxymoronic question. It's like if you're a beginner, you won't be able to draw a certain way yet, you know. But you're saying, how do I get there from where I am now? Or you know, it's funny because like there isn't really like a sexy answer. It's just I just did it every day for years and years. And something I will say that is an actual piece of advice other than just draw constantly. Take breaks when you can, because if you overwork yourself, you actually impede your learning. But also, if there's something you're avoiding drawing because you're not good at it, because you don't enjoy it, do that. Like learn how to, because like drawing comics is what made me better at drawing, because it forces me to draw all the time, and I have to draw things I don't want to draw, and it forces me to draw things that I'm not good at. Like I was like avoiding drawing cars in the beginning of my career because I was like, that's hard. Drawing cars is difficult. Guess what? The client's like, we have a car chase in this story. You got to, and it's just like, you know, and you got to just get good or you don't get paid. And that for me was why I got as good as I could be, as good as I could get at that time, I should say, because every time that there was something I didn't want to draw, I was like, well, there's a paycheck on the other side, and you're not going to pay your rent unless you do it. So do it. So get good at drawing cards. And like, you know, also I would say that if there's something you're not good at drawing, and if you're not enjoying it, there's a good chance that it's because you don't fully understand that thing. Meaning, like, I didn't like drawing cars because I wasn't good at it. And I wasn't good at drawing cars because I didn't understand what made them cool. And now I still have a hard time with it. I still need to reference it a lot and make sure I do it right, because it doesn't come naturally to me. But I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy drawing cars sometimes, you know. I say that as I'm working on a medieval fantasy where there's not a car in sight. Nah. I guess I won in the end. But, yeah, I mean, I just like, that's, I mean, just an example, but generally, yeah, I just forced myself to draw all the things that were intimidating me. And, it just, you know, and doing that, it just forces you to get good fast. You got to just do it, or, you know, and, it's pretty thrilling when you're bad at something and then you get, and sometimes you don't even notice you're improving. You won't even notice, and then you'll look back at the stuff you were doing 2 months ago and you're like, holy crap, this is like, you know, like I just saw a drawing I did last year and was like, oh yeah, I would do this very differently now and I think it would look better, you know? I would also say try on a bunch of different styles. And the way like to find your style, this is something that I always thought works really well. When you love an artist, just absorb all of their work, obsess over it, try a bunch of stuff, you know. Then try another artist and obsess over their style and get really into their work, and just keep doing that over and over, and then stop looking at anybody for a while and go in blind when you're drawing and see which style, which aspects of which style pop through the membrane, you know, and what'll come up in your natural hand. And that's often the style that you're most comfortable in, and that's how you should work. Like this is my probably my most natural style of drawing. It's just, you know, I express myself better with line art than I do with anything else. So even when I was like getting into painting, and I do paintings now, you know, every now and then for clients and stuff. And when I paint, it starts as a drawing like this, and then I just sort of keep rendering it until it's a painting. And that's what seems to work for me. Some people, they just throw paint on, they work from volume, but I work from line because I'm just more comfortable like that, you know? Because my background is in comics, and comic art. And to get good at it, you know, like to answer your question as fully as possible, I think if you're someone who likes to paint, but you feel like there's flaws in your paintings, just take time off from painting and draw, because getting really good at draftsmanship and line art is going to make your painting so much better. Like when I transitioned to painting, it was such a quick, easy transition. Like I really didn't feel like I worked that hard. You know, it took a little bit of figuring out to see what my painting method was, but because I do so much drawing, it was like really not. It was fine. Like, and I love my paintings now. I'm like excited for it. I'm actually looking for more work in illustration, because drawing is the foundation, man. It's like in fitness. It's like if you can do a lot of push-ups and you can do some pull-ups, most strength training exercises you're going to be pretty good at, because those are the ones. You know, if you can do lunges, your legs are going to be solid. Like it's just good basics. It's a good foundation, and if you don't have that foundation, it makes learning new aspects of art pretty difficult. Yeah, Frank Quitely's his characters have these like really robust faces. But what I love about Frank Quitely, among many things, is that he doesn't come from a traditional comics background, so he doesn't walk in with the same stuff. Like when he does his characters, they actually look different. Like, you know, like I always hated how for some artists, who I won't name, like Clark Kent, it just looks like Bruce Wayne with glasses, you know? But then it's like Frank Quitely gives them, you know, pretty unique appearance and makes them feel like two different people, and you know. Excuse me. It's crazy how zoomed in I am on this image right now. I really can't express to you how small this part of it is. It's why it's so pixelated. This is like a very tight shot, but I just need for his helmet to look right, even though no one's going to look at it, probably. That's how small it is. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll remind you, Sharky. All right, guys, it's getting late. I'm going down for the night. Going down. Ryan's dropping for the night. Thanks for hanging out, and I love you. God bless. I'll see you next time. Anyone who just stumbled onto the channel, please subscribe and return to me, because I love you so much. And anyone watching, please give the video a like. It really helps me out. Peace, y'all. Happy holidays. For those of you in the States who do Thanksgiving, enjoy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family. Try to relax. Try not to stress too much about things happening in the world. And focus on looking into the eyes of those you love and telling them to pass you the cranberries. Thanks, Edgar. I'll tell the bedbugs you